in a bit. And what to buy? Well, when you want to buy a car by limiting your expenditure, let's say you're capping it at £5,000, the things that really take up your budget are the four primary things as shown on this slide. The warranty is optional, by the way, and it is constant depending on how old the car is. For a given age of a car, the warranty tends to be constant. It doesn't make what make it is. The breakdown coverage also seems to be constant from my experience. There are three variants that really decide the cost of your car. So once again, the cost of the car might be a lot more cheaper. Let's say a used car which is a 10-year-old, I don't know, Ford Focus could cost you £600. That doesn't necessarily mean the road tax is less and the insurance is less. They're not proportional. So on the flip side, an expensive car, as in a relatively expensive, a £2,000 or £3,000 car, doesn't necessarily cost that much more in road tax and insurance. So these are three variants that decide it. So ideally, go for a car that is reliable and that gives you higher fuel efficiency, and that sort of affects the road tax and insurance. Generally, the road tax is affected by the emissions emitted by the car. So if you go for, I don't know, something like an electric car, the road tax is zero, surprisingly zero, but electric cars tend to be very expensive. You see, that's affecting your factor one, which is the cost of the car. Electric cars could be expensive to insure them for reasons known to the market. At the same time, if you buy a diesel car, diesel cars tend to have less fuel efficiency, more fuel efficiency. That reflects in the road tax as well. So road tax of a diesel car might be less compared to its equivalent petrol car, and the insurance could be affected by the reliability. So how do we find these things before we buy one? So the cost of the car. So when I want to buy a car, I tend to use Auto Trader. So you put your postcode. Well, that's optional. I mean, you could search it UK wide or wherever country wide, and then you put your make. Let's say you want let's stick to Skoda Fabia because that was my first car. So you want to buy a Skoda Fabia, and your price is so much. So let's quickly search it and see what Auto Trader shows us. So my postcode is, for example, S115NB. The distance from my postcode that I would like to search is, let's say, 50 miles maybe. And I would like to consider all the options here. Used, nearly new and new. And the make is Skoda. And the model is, let's stick to Fabia. And let's put a maximum price of, £3,000, right? So that gave me 80 results. Let's quickly let's quickly have a look. So as you can see, if you sort it by the lowest price, you can see the cheapest Skoda Fabia in this list is somewhere around £600, but it has done a lot of mileage. You see, that means probably the engine is knackered. It probably hasn't got enough life in it for you to carry on for 3 to 4 years, depending on how much you want to cover. On the flip side, if you go to the upper limit, Let me quickly filter it, sort it by highest price. You see, and then you can see 2009. So you can generally get an idea of how much this car would cost you. And if let's say you wanted 2012 Skoda Fabia, now it's clear, quite evident that it wouldn't fit into your budget, and then you need to take a call. So now that Skoda Fabia doesn't fit into my budget, would you still stick to it? Would you go for a smaller car in Skoda family, or would you go for a same size car in a Ford family, which would probably fit into this budget and age factor and other things? So yeah, I mean the other things that you can check in Auto Trader are things like the make. You can choose between various makes, and then you can filter the results using the price, and then you can also filter by the year of the make, the mileage. I tend to stick to used cars which have done less than 100,000. That's not too much, at the same time that's not far too less, so it would stick in to most of the used car purchase budgets. The body type, this usually matters when you have a family, right? I mean, maybe a hatchback is not for you, maybe an estate is for you, or maybe a saloon is for you, so that you can fit all your kids' stuff and the prams and all those things into the boot, and then still have room for an extra suitcase or something when you go off to, I don't know, Cornwall or Devon or something for holiday. At the same time, if you are more of a sports person, as in if you tend to drive in not so standard roads, maybe SUVs are for you, right? SUV or sort of a convertibles are sort of a market where you get you get cars which can drive on road, on tarmac, and also on rural and really bad roads. So, and then the fuel type. So you see quite a few here, but generally most of us, especially the used car buyers, go for the petrol or diesel because they're proven cars. As you can see, you also see the higher number here. There are about 250,000 diesels and 250,000 petrols, but things that fit into this selection where, in my criteria, there are only a certain amount of, bi-fuel is probably when you have both LPG as in or CNG along with your primary fuel, which is petrol, and then electrics are just electrics. Hybrid have a way of charging a battery, and that's a different topic altogether. I'm not an automotive expert, and I wouldn't go into that at least in this video. So yeah, most of the times it's between diesel and petrol. According to the conventional wisdom from my friends, the diesel cars that were made before 2010 had quite a few issues, and they tend to tell me any diesel car that was made around 2010 or after 2010 are as good as petrol. I come from a country in India, where people tend to say if it is a petrol car, you can leave it undriven for 6 months or 1 year. You come back and you can start it, and it would start, no starting issues and anything. On the other hand, a diesel car, people tell me, have quite a few issues. Once again, this is conventional wisdom. I could be wrong. All this would be proven is by just checking, their reliability and other things, which we would cover later. And then engine sizes, right? You can have all the way from 1 liter to some crazy 6.5 liter. I have never come across a car with 6.5 liter engine. So this would sort of determine the drive type, how racy it is and how more fuel efficient it is and all these factors. The more higher the engine size, which is measured in liters, the less the fuel efficiency is. Acceleration once again, and then gearbox. Would you like to go for an automatic, manual, semi-automatic, and things like that. And the other things, doors, right? So if you're a family person, you probably need a 5-door car, which is 4 doors plus a boot. I don't know what a 6-door is. Anyway, and then you have 4 doors where, and then you have, I don't know what a 4-door is, probably the one, anyway, generally the 3 doors are the ones without doors for the rear seat. So you have 2 doors, one for the driver and one for the passenger next to the driver, and then you have a boot door. So those cars could be a bit of a hassle when you have kids, where you need to fit their booster seats and all that come out of them. But if you are a bachelor, if you are a lone driver, these things don't really matter. 2 doors, I don't know what they are. I think 2 doors probably mean 3 doors, and 4 doors probably mean 5 doors. Seats, once again, would you like a 2-seater, 5-seater, 6-seater? It all depends on your family needs and your needs. And then insurance group. I know this is quite good. I'm glad Auto Trader shows it here, but we can also, there is a website that would actually tell us what exactly is the insurance group of a given car. So once again, the lesser the insurance group, the least it would be to insure it. And insurance could be really daunting for new drivers, anywhere from £500 to £5,000. Yes, I have heard people who have actually given a quotation of £5,000 to insure a car for a year, just 1 year. Annual tax is road tax. Once again, you can use this to assess how much this car would cost you to ride for a year. And so, like I said, road tax is based on the fuel emissions, the emissions from the car. So, for example, you could buy a 300-pound car. I know people who buy them from Gumtrees and all that. But if you end up spending £300 for annual tax, it doesn't make any sense. Instead, you could probably spend £1,000 on a car, on a used car, and spend, I don't know, 150 on annual tax, because when you purchase your car, the upfront cost of a car is constant. Let's say put it down to £1,000, but the annual tax is a recurring cost. It would come back to you every year. So it's ideal that you limit that, especially if you want to own this car for a good amount of time, 3 to 5 years or something. Anyway, let's go back to the presentation. So that's how Auto Trader could help you. And then you have a website that would actually help you kind of determine how much it would cost you to what road tax band it is in. So if I click on it, and if I can quickly hover through to it, select the used one, and select Skoda, and then I select my Fabia, and then my first car was petrol, and it was 1.4 liter, which is also shown as 1390cc, and it was, if I am not wrong, I think it was this one. Yeah, and the registration was definitely this. It was a 2002. So you see, as you can see here, my car would have, well, I don't own this car anymore, but if one were to buy this car today, it would cost 185 for the road tax. So that's a recurring cost, comes once every year, and you could also pay it bi-yearly, pay for 6 months and then do it for 6 months. But that's the general idea. So it's a band G, so higher the band, higher the road tax. The next thing is insurance. This is something that a lot of people tend to ignore. So let me put my, once again, Skoda details in, and you get a good idea. Fabia. So mine was 2000 Fabia 16. Yeah, that looks like mine. I mean, it doesn't matter. This is just an example. You see now that's an insurance group of 10, right? And one could think, you could probably fit, I don't know, a BMW, if you're a BMW fan, into the same insurance. And some people assume insurance cost is constant. It is not. Let me quickly show you what I mean with that. Let me put BMW there. And let me quickly select, I don't know much about the BMWs. Okay, let me put, let's say, that one. It's a sports car, right? Some people are crazy about getting one of those. So if I find the group of it, look at that. Now the insurance group has gone up from 10 to 43. So probably that's 4 times, in ratio. So on paper, it would probably cost you the same to insure it. So assuming a Skoda Fabia costs you, I don't know, £600 to insure it, your BMW Z4 Sport convertible cost you 4 times that, which is £3,000, £2,500, £3,000. So really make a sensible decision when you buy it. And by the way, insurance is a recurring cost. You have to insure your car every year. So you could purchase a car for £1,000, but if it is in a higher insurance group, it makes no sense because you would pay so much over the period of time. Reliability. So reliability is another thing that you need to keep in mind. So let's quickly look at that as well. So Skoda Fabia, check now. You see, now that tells us something. So people who have this rating is given on based on people reporting it to this website, and this website owners doing the market research and finding it from local garages and other parties. So this kind of tells you how much it would cost. So, and 37 is a very good rating, and it also shows on this scale that a Fabia is a good one. Let me quickly go for a previous one, right? You see, even the older Fabias are pretty decent, and you can go through this. These links would be provided in the description. You can easily go through them. So higher the reliability, lower the cost of insurance, ideally, and the lower cost for you to run and maintain it.